Welcome to Rising Legends, the place where ordinary lives turn into extraordinary stories. Here, we bring you real-life journeys of people who rose from the bottom to the top, inspiring you to chase your dreams and conquer your challenges. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with anyone who needs a spark of motivation today. Let's ignite your passion and start your journey to greatness. Where is your attention going right now? It's easy to find something to be upset about if that's where you let your mind drift. The real question is, do you spend more of your focus on the past, the present, or the future? All of us move between the three, but each of us leans more heavily toward one. High achievers often lock onto the future, constantly planning what's next, while most people spend a great deal of time replaying the past. The challenge is that the past can't be changed. If you live there, you'll find yourself fixated on what's missing instead of appreciating what's in front of you. You end up stuck on what you cannot control. Life is lived in two realms, the outer world and the inner world. The outside world is never fully in our control. We can influence it, but not dictate it. What we can always command is what happens inside of us. What we choose to focus on, the meaning we attach to experiences, and the actions we decide to take. Those three choices determine the quality of our lives. When we take charge of them, stress and anxiety lose their grip, especially when our efforts are directed toward something greater than ourselves. Serving a cause bigger than your own needs always circles back to lift you up. Want more confidence and a deeper sense of worth? Contribute to something meaningful beyond your personal gain. The two emotional states that can poison every part of your life are fear and anger. They destroy relationships, businesses, and even health. But gratitude is their antidote. You cannot feel fear and gratitude at the same time. You cannot hold on to anger while also being deeply grateful. Look at someone like Steph Curry. Fans watch him sink shots from near half court, turn around before the ball even drops, and celebrate as though it's effortless. They call it unbelievable, as if it's a gift he was born with. But what most people overlook is the relentless discipline behind it. Curry has put up no fewer than 500 shots every single day for over 15 years. Long before the NBA, back in college, even while training with his father. That's 3,500 shots a week, 168,000 in a year, and more than 2 million throughout his career. So when he makes thousands of perfect shots in public, it's not luck. It's the result of invisible hours of practice. That's why I tell people, what you're praised for in public is always the product of what you worked on tirelessly in private. I believe everything happens with a reason and a higher purpose. Life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. Our task is to uncover what that purpose is. Along the way, we fight battles both inside ourselves and out in the world. But if we persist, we eventually conquer those inner dragons and step into the role of hero in our own story. And when that happens, what we have to share is not theory, it's lived truth. People can feel the authenticity because it's rooted in experience, not borrowed wisdom. And as soon as one challenge is mastered, another appears. That cycle never ends. But it's what makes life exciting and beautiful. People often ask how to build self-esteem, especially if they've been hard on themselves their whole lives. My answer is that self-esteem isn't something you're handed. It's something you earn. Many say, I have low self-esteem because of how I was treated as a child. Yet we tend to hold on to the painful words while ignoring the positive moments that also shaped us. The truth is, no amount of praise from others will ever give you lasting self-esteem. Someone can call you brilliant every day and you still might not believe it. On the flip side, someone could tell you you're worthless, and you might transform that pain into fuel, using it as motivation to prove them wrong. Real self-esteem comes only from doing hard things that you know stretched you to your limits. It's not about talking big or showing off. It's about what you know in your soul to be true because you lived it. And when those challenges are tied to something greater than just yourself, your sense of worth multiplies. If you want to feel genuinely fulfilled, stop obsessing about yourself and pour your energy into something you care about that's bigger than you. When you do that, your self-esteem becomes less of a concern because your life is fueled by meaning. The deeper question is not, how do I feel about myself? But, what do I truly want? An extraordinary life is one lived on your own terms. For some, that might mean raising children in a loving home. For others, it could be building a global business, writing poetry, or creating art. What matters is that it's your vision, not someone else's. And if the path you choose also serves others, then the sense of purpose you gain will far outweigh any self-doubt or insecurity. Being hard on yourself isn't necessarily bad, as long as you also take time to celebrate your wins. What usually damages people is not their own high standards, but comparing themselves unfairly to others. When you stop making meaningless comparisons and instead chase after what truly matters to you, life becomes not only fulfilling but deeply meaningful. You can't measure yourself against someone else's journey because their path, their experiences, and even their goals are completely different from yours. Each of us grows at our own pace, and we all want different things in life. At some point, you realize that while it's important to be strong with yourself, constantly tearing yourself down only drains your energy. And when your energy drops, your productivity drops too. You lose joy, excitement, and the ability to make the kind of impact you want. I've learned that building self-esteem is valuable, but it's not the ultimate answer. The real key is to find something outside of yourself that you care about so deeply it pulls you forward. That kind of passion gives you a sustainable energy that keeps driving you over the long run. When I first started, my fuel was anger. I'll show them. I'll prove it. That mindset gave me a spark, but it didn't last. Many people then turn to the idea of success as fuel, but beneath that often lies fear, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. True power doesn't come from fear, it comes from certainty. When you know deep down that giving your best each day allows your gifts to shine through, you stop worrying and start trusting that things will work out. Eventually, you reach a higher level where you understand who you are, and you no longer feel the need to prove it to yourself or anyone else. At that stage, you simply want to give, to help, to serve. That's the difference between push and pull. Push motivation is about forcing things to happen through willpower. And yes, willpower is powerful, but it's also limited. Pull motivation, on the other hand, has no limit. It comes from being drawn to something greater than yourself, something meaningful you want to bring into existence. That kind of vision never runs out of energy. It allows you to laugh, to enjoy the process, and to keep going without burning out. One truth that changed everything for me is this: where focus goes, energy flows. It may sound cliché, but it's real. None of us experience life itself. We experience the parts of life we choose to focus on. At any moment, we can dwell on what's wrong or we can recognize what's right. It's not about being blindly positive. It's about being intelligent enough to notice the impact of your beliefs. If you constantly search for problems, you'll find them. If you train yourself to look for gratitude, joy follows. The real discipline is learning how not to let disappointments take root, but instead to redirect your focus toward what life is offering you right now. The moment you focus on something, your brain immediately assigns meaning to it. That meaning creates emotion, and emotion shapes your life. The quality of your life is ultimately determined by the quality of your emotions, and emotions are shaped by focus. Most people spend more time noticing what's missing rather than what they already have. But you can rewire your focus to cultivate more happiness and fulfillment. Spiritual growth, as I see it, is about becoming comfortable with who you truly are, not the version of yourself you project, not the version you think others expect, but your real self. And that's not easy because most of us are constantly chasing an idea of who we think we should be. But when you begin to accept and appreciate who you already are, life becomes lighter. Fear fades, wasted energy disappears, and you stop carrying unnecessary pain. There's no shortcut to this. It's what I call the hero's journey. You do the work, you give everything you've got, and then you allow life to flow through you. Life stops happening to you and starts happening for you. But it has to be earned. Confidence without competence is just wishful thinking. If you want freedom, you can't play the victim. No setback, no past event defines who you are or dictates where you can go. Think about times in your life that were devastating, moments you'd never want to relive and would never wish on anyone else. Yet, years later, when you look back, you realize those hardships gave you strength, compassion, and wisdom you didn't have before. You wouldn't want to repeat them, but you can recognize the growth they created. Often the traits we're most proud of come from the very struggles we once hated. Maybe being alone as a child made you fiercely independent. Maybe lacking support taught you to bet on yourself without hesitation. Life has this strange rhythm. First, you go through pain without understanding it. Then you become aware of how it held you back. Eventually, you also see how it propelled you forward. And finally, you reach the paradox. You wish it hadn't happened, but you're grateful that it did. Holding both truths at once is difficult, but it's also powerful. If your older self could go back to your younger self in those hard moments, you'd hug that child and say, "You don't deserve this, but it will shape you. You'll grow because of it." I don't believe everything happens for a reason in the way people often say, but I do believe every event can serve a purpose if you choose to use it that way. Life gives us both easy times and hard times. The real peace comes from doing the inner work early on so that when challenges arrive, you already know who you are. That kind of grounding gives you the strength to build not only your life but also meaningful relationships. And that's where real fulfillment begins. Thank you for watching and being part of the Rising Legends family. Remember, every legend starts somewhere, and your story is waiting to be written. If this video inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. Stay motivated, keep pushing forward, and always remember, your rise can inspire the world.